Welcome back to another episode of Two Daddies, Judging Baddies. Me and Dylan just survived a winter storm, so that's a plus. Hopefully everybody out there listening to the podcast also survived. I don't think you would be able to listen if you did not survive.
Did some areas get super hit? Because I know we were expecting like almost an inch of ice, and that would have just decimated our area. But I don't know I know a lot of places got a lot of snow. And
yeah, I know like Connecticut got a foot.
That's nothing.
Yeah, ain't shit. Especially for Connecticut because they get that shit. But I don't think I know that Tennessee got hit pretty hard because they had the most power outages. They had more than Texas did.
You're the only 10 I see.
That's from I heard that from Hannah, Montana. Where'd you hear from?
Fuck if I know.
How long ago did you hear it?
Forever, but like not. Hannah,
Are you from
Montana.
Waikiki? Because Waikiki. That's what the other friend says after we had I ain't even gonna lie, man. I watched Sweet Life of Zach and Cody, and then when that ended, Hannah Montana came on. I was like, all right, well, I guess I'm watching this.
Well, yeah, that was you were proper age to watch all that stuff.
Not Hannah Montana. I was a little bit older, like fucking 15, 16. The funniest thing is like, I was doing crimes, going to jail, drugs, bitches.
Nickelodeon.
Fuck yeah. Drake and Josh, I'd be like, oh, Drake and Josh coming on.
Let's get high and watch Drake and Josh.
Right, yeah. I'd just be sitting there just like, God damn it. When is Drake really going to get it together? Because Josh has everything put together, but he's kind of a weirdo, so.
So my wife made me drive to Winston yesterday.
Oh, no.
During, all the snow and everything crazy happened Saturday night. So Sunday we kind of just chilled at the house. But then Monday we came to work and I did a bunch of financial shit. And then she was up there waiting on some packages to get here, which never came. But midday she's like, hey, could we go to Costco? I was like, why do we need to go to Costco? She's like, I need paper towels, toilet paper for the shop. And I was like, I've got a bunch here. We don't got to go. And she's like, well, your daughter wants these snacks. I was like, obviously you're real adamant about us going to Costco. So we drive out there and everything was fine. But do you know how to drive on snow and ice?
Nope.
No. Okay. And you stayed home, right?
I barely know how to drive on a regular road, dog. Like I can't. If it's snowing and icing, no.
So the one side of 40 was fine. But then like going back to Lexington, going, I guess, East 40, there was a lot of patches of like snow and ice. And I don't know why, but the people that don't know how to drive are out there on the roads. And when they get on these patches of snow and ice, you see their brake lights come on. And I'm like, guys, you're literally going to cause a pile up because when you're on the snow and ice, you just cruise. You do not touch your gas. You do not touch your brake. You can use it, but these people were just like, as soon as they got on that, there were like brakes. I was like, that's how you lose control and then wreck. And then you cause everybody else behind you to wreck. And it was just wild to see like every single patch that they would hit brakes. And I'm like, no, just cruise. Like, cause now I have to hit my brakes and then I'm going to be in the same scenario of losing traction. Just don't be an idiot and out here on these roads if you do not know how to drive on them.
When I had first got my license, I was out in Thomasville, North Carolina. Okay. And it was snowing really good. This had to be 2013. Yeah, 2013, 2012, one of those. But it's snowing. And I mean, it snowed a pretty good amount. And I'm driving this little Toyota that I had. It was my first car. I hadn't been driving for 2 months. And I get stuck in snow. And I'm stuck in snow kind of where it is a hill both ways. So these really nice guys come out to help me, okay? And I'm telling you, they are like pushing my car. They're throwing cat litter under the tires, doing everything so my car will get unstuck. The problem is I had the emergency brake up because of where I parked. I was like, oh, I'm gonna put my emergency brake on. I got out of the car. I did something. I talked to somebody, got back in the car and tried to drive. And I was like, oh man, it's stuck. I didn't even realize it. One of the guys was just like, bro, why's your fucking emergency brake on? And I was just like, oh God, let me put that. He's like, God damn it. And his other friend was like, what? His fucking emergency. They were talking mad shit. I was just like, oh.
Sorry guys.
As soon as I put it down, they didn't even have to touch my car. It just went. It's just, and I didn't stop to say thank you or nothing. I was just embarrassed. I felt hot. It was freezing in my car. I felt hot as shit because I was like, oh God, I feel like a dumbass.
See, there was one time where I was, I went to work and it was fine. And then when I was coming back home from work, Like it had snowed and everything, and so the roads weren't that good. But once again, I'm from New York, so I know
I'm from New York. Fucking New Yorkers always got to bring that up. I love doing that.
I'm from where there's lake effect snow, New York. So there's like 3 feet of snow on the ground, and the plows go, and
We
just
get it.
right
You're the
behind.
toughest. You're in gangs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Compton, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, try me. But so when I'm driving home, I'm like, I'll make it home. I'm in a rear wheel drive truck with no like serious weight in the back or anything. So like I'm kind of sketchy, but I can make it home.
Right.
And I'm very confident in this. But there's this one place where you go over, I think it's Lake Brant. And so you go down to get to the lake, and then you have to go back up the hill. And so when you do that, you have to like get some speed going down the hill so that you can make it up the next hill. As I'm coming down the hill, all I see is a line of front wheel drive cars just spinning up the hill. And so I was like, I can't get enough speed. Like I'm going to run into these people because they slowed down going down the hill, and now they're just like literally making ice on the road going up the hill. And so all these people that are going 2 miles an hour and just spinning up the hill, I have to turn around. And so as I turn around, I'm like, I'm going to go back up the other way. Well, sure enough, by that point, people had piled up on that hill. And so it's just like front wheel drive vehicles just spinning and causing ice. And so I finally get caught up behind somebody. And then the second that I touch my gas, it's like, burp, burp, and just slides into the ditch. I was like, motherfucker. Like, I look like a jackass because it looks like I don't know how to drive. But the problem is like, it's all the people going 2 miles an hour that shouldn't be out on the road, period. Like, if you're not going to go like 25, 30 miles an hour, yes, even on the snow, that's completely safe and fine if you know how to drive. But these fuckers are out there like, well, my front wheel drive car makes it up this hill just fine.
Can I ask you something else? You judging me?
Yeah.
I mean, even though it's like we judge people on this podcast.
I judge you all the time.
How do I know if it's front wheel drive or back wheel drive or the side wheels drive? How do I know that?
Typically, like a sports car is going to be rear wheel drive. But outside of that, most vehicles are, like most cars and SUVs are front wheel drive. When it comes to like trucks, they're typically rear wheel drive. And then you've got 4-wheel drive, all-wheel drive, all the rest of them. But like a normal pickup truck is rear wheel drive normally. If you have 4-wheel drive, then you get the rest. But then with most cars, vans, things like that, they're front wheel drive.
Okay. All right. So I'm just going to assume from now on, like when someone's like, what? I remember I got a Kia Forte. I think it was about 2016. And I take it to work, and there's some guys out there, and I get out, and they're like, oh, man, you got a new car? They're like, we got under the hood.
An engine?
Fucking engine, yeah. Some metal. Some metal stuff. Fuck yeah. Oh, man, there was one time because I don't know what it was, but I had to check a fluid, and I had a guy, like, out there helping me with a car, and he was just like, check blank fluid. I don't fucking know what kind of – I know it wasn't oil. I know how to check oil. But he was like, oh, check this. And I'm just like – I check one. He's like, that's the windshield wiper fluid. And I'm like, why the fuck they got windshield wiper fluid? But I look like a dumbass. You know how bad it is to live in the South and be a guy and not know anything about cars?
I mean, if that's not your thing, it's not your thing.
But I think I don't know anything about cars to like a detrimental degree. When I had the Toyota, I knew more about cars because like I would change my own brakes just because I could do that. As soon as you go get a new car, they're like, fuck, you change your own brakes, you void this warranty. You do anything to this car, you better take it to a shop so they'll do it. It costs you money, of course, because you'll void the warranty. I probably would be way better with cars if I just had a fucking shitmobile, which is the next car that I'm getting. It's just a fucking beat up little Honda or Toyota that's gonna it's got like 250,000 miles on it. Probably got 200,000 more because it's early 2000s, late 90s. I'm never ever gonna buy a car off a lot again. It's overhyped. I look at a vehicle as a point A to point B. I do not give a rat's ass about it at all. It doesn't matter what vehicle I get. I would not give a rat's ass about that vehicle.
Yeah, I think my thing is if I'm driving it, I'm cool with getting like a hoopty ride. If my wife's driving it, I have to get the like nice car with bells and whistles.
You have to get all the safest. Yeah, you have to get all the who does the safe awards?
JD Power.
Yeah, something like that. The JD Power most safest. You will not die in this car except for, when you do.
Yeah. Well, and also my wife is like, I missed my old car. It had automatic start. I missed my old car. It had heated seats. I missed my old car. It had this. And I'm like, yeah, I know. And then somebody rear-ended you. And so now we got another less fancy car. But we should get into these stories.
Well, before we get into these stories, I do want to drop some bad news onto the listener. And I
was figuring we could do that like mid-episode because it's been like 10 minutes.
All right, we'll drop the you got bad news coming in like 30 minutes, guys. Two daddies. Judging baddies.
All right, so this is a Am I the Asshole from user Leon Carvel. My parents, 65 female and 67 male, are livid because I'm not allowing them to see my daughter after they spanked her. Am I the asshole?
Nah.
English is my second language. I created this account just to talk about this because it seems that all of my family except my wife is on their side. For context, I live abroad and this is only the second time my family has met my daughter. My wife, 28 female, and I, 28 male, flew down for the holidays as well as an extended vacation so my daughter, 3 female, could see my home country, Brazil, and have a fun, different experience. We spent New Year's at my parents with my extended family. Everything seemed to be going well until on the 3rd. My wife and I left the house to run some errands and left my daughter alone with my parents. My daughter is a very smart girl. She loves talking, she's sweet, but opinionated. And we like to encourage that. We want her to know that her voice and thoughts matter, and we are there to listen.
That's right, just a little bit less than a guy's, okay? Just a tiny bit less.
My parents, however, seem to disagree. While we were out, my mom called me telling me that my daughter was being disrespectful. I asked her what she was doing, and she told me that she was arguing about the cartoon they'd picked for her to watch and wanted to watch something else they didn't know. And I understand we don't always have to give kids what they want, but I don't see the harm in that, especially because I don't exactly trust whatever they chose for her due to certain ideological differences we have.
Oh, it's just like Family Guy. This is tame. Like, you should see the bad stuff we watch.
That's what the 3-year-old was asking to watch.
Right, yeah.
So I sent her a link to a YouTube series she likes to watch and asked her to put that on instead and tell her that dad and mom would be back soon to talk to her. Next, my mom told me that she had already taken care of it. I was confused as to what that meant, and she followed to say that she had spanked her to teach her not to argue.
I'm fucking her up as soon as I get there. I'm fucking my mom. I'm rocking that bitch. Look, I'm going to come up, and the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to have something in my hands, and I'm going to drop it right in front of her, because you know how when you drop something, someone will like try to catch it with you, but then I'm just going to hit her with an uppercut right out of her motherfucking sneakers. I swear to God, I'm pissed off for this guy. We need to go find this mom and jumper.
Needless to say, I was furious. I hang up, told my wife we immediately dropped everything and drove back. We do not do spanking. We have never and never will. As someone who was spanked a lot for the most unnecessary and stupid reasons, I understand it does not work and only harms the child. And yes, I had mentioned it to my parents. We had a pretty ugly argument when we arrived, but I kept my position clear. They did not have the right to do that, and I wouldn't be taking it lightly. My parents are very strict in their ways, and they refuse to apologize or even acknowledge that what they did was wrong, if not for the spanking, for doing it without my permission. Yeah, like, I mean, just instantly, like, they probably have had this conversation, like, hey, I know this is how you guys raised us, not with my kid. And then you do it anyway? No.
That'll teach the child not to get upset or anything like that, is you just fucking hit them.
Yeah. And
it's so funny too, because people will be like, well, I was spanked as a kid and I turned out perfectly fine. And I'm like, dog, you're in and out of jail. You got drug addiction. You got anger issues. Like, you're not fine. You're not fine. Have a conversation. Have a conversation with somebody.
And they're a child. Like, they do not understand. And like, I'm sorry, the whole like spare the rod, spoil the child. Like, I've seen plenty of kids that get spanked that are spoiled as fuck. And then I've seen a bunch
just shit kids.
Yeah. And then I've seen a bunch of kids that were gentle parented and like talked to and like angels.
Right. I can understand why I shouldn't be doing this, because my parents explained to me why.
Yeah.
Like, when I got beat, man, it was just like, you're a fucking dumbass. Really? Got fucking talking in school all the time? Dumbass. And then beat me. But what the fuck did I learn from that? Except for I'm just angry. Yeah. I'm just like, I'm so angry. I don't know what to do. Probably just going to go to school and beat up the next person I see because I'm so angry. I got all this anger inside of my body. I'm sorry. If you spank, that's cool. You are able to run your household the way you want to. I just don't find the value in it.
See, my parents, they spanked me when I was real little. And then as we got older and they could explain things to us, they stopped. And so, like, my tact for raising my kids is we just phased out they're ever okay to spank.
Right.
Like, even if they're in diapers and blah, blah, blah. Like, no, we don't lay hands on the kids for no reason. Like,
And
ever.
this podcast is like the perfect example of why you should not spank, because I was spunked. You know what I'm saying? Papa. Spunked, get it? Yeah, okay. I was spanked, and y'all see how I am versus Dylan was not spanked. Y'all see how he is.
It's a case study, guys.
It is.
All right, so long story short, we packed the same day and left. I called the hotel for the next city we were visiting and booked a room early. It was about a week before we were planning to leave. I made it very clear to my parents I don't want to hear any more excuses. I sent them some articles on parenting and child abuse and told them I wouldn't be talking to them or allowing them to talk to or see my daughter again until they've read those and contacted me to apologize and acknowledge what they did was horrible and wrong.
Tell my daughter, fucking apologize to my daughter. I'm whooping ass. I'm sorry. That's just this feels like an ass whooping situation.
Well, that's the funny thing. And I don't know whether I put the comment in there is like, we'll just put your parent over your leg and just go to whooping their ass.
Yeah, just go to whoop. This is why you don't fucking hit my kid. Yeah.
Right now, you're 28. They're fucking damn near 70. You can take them.
He's like, well, I can't beat up my dad. My dad's in a wheelchair. And I'm just like, bro, that's an easy fight. Yeah, that's a way easier. Like, you should not be scared to fight him at all.
All right, so fast forward to now. It's been over 2 weeks, and all I've heard from them are enraged complaints about how they know what they are doing because they did it to me and I turned out okay, so it must work. About how I'm being ridiculous and unfair because they are only trying to help and they don't get to see my daughter often since I live abroad. I've received calls from my sister, who is a lot like them, defending them, from my sister's husband, from his father, from two of my uncles.
Why the fuck are they in this conversation? Now we're talking about in-laws and shit like that. I don't know, man.
Even from some of my cousins. To put it shortly, what everyone is saying is that I should forgive them and forget about it because they had good intentions and I just fucking beat up the kid because I had good intentions. Like it came from a good place.
Yes, I inflicted pain on this child because they didn't want to watch the cartoon we put on for them because they are a child and probably have a set number of cartoons that they watch and that they are used to. So we bent her over our knee and then whooped her ass.
And they don't get to see my daughter often, so I'm being unfair. We had plans to spend a few more days with my parents in early February before our flight home, but I canceled it. I still don't think I'm wrong, but I can partly see the reasoning behind the they don't get to see her often point, though I'm still very much not inclined to yield. Am I the asshole?
No.
Like, I think that's one of the hardest parts for grandparents, though, is to understand, like, you're not the parent anymore. You're still my parent, sure, but you're not the parent of this child. So, like, your parenting methods are no longer valid. Like, you do not get a say in this. You don't, like, this is my game now. Like, your game is you're in the advanced levels of fucking dealing with, shit adults. But the kid part, that's my go. And so you can just fuck right off and let me handle it. Like, you're not involved in this.
Me and Amy were in the kitchen this a couple weeks ago cooking dinner, and her father came by, and I've told you guys about him before. He is generally a good guy, super autistic dude, wicked smart, just completely socially inept, and has anger problems. But he's like sitting in the living room, and I want to think that my daughter was like being like a pterodactyl or something like that because it was like a sound. And my son likes doing this laugh where he goes, yeah. Like it's like Krusty the Clown, his exact laugh.
So it sounds like it's just like if you were to put on YouTube of like most annoying sounds ever, that's a chaos. So like a cacophony of things just being annoying.
But he goes, y'all need to quiet that down. So I just like poked my head and I was like, oh, is this your house? Is this your house? Because last time I checked, I thought it was their house and they could do whatever they want to in their house. This is where they get to be crazy and be loud and shit like that. Because here's a thing too that you don't know. If you do not enjoy the sounds that is coming from someone else's house, fucking leave. Don't. He's just like, Well, it's just like, God, I mean, well, why are they that loud? 'Cause they're kids. They're children. Children are loud. They do that. I mean, sometimes I'll be like, hey, guys, can we quieten it down a little bit? Can we play a little bit more? But other than, late at night when it's around bedtime or early in the morning, fucking just go at it. Go at it. Like if you are, because they're super respectful too. Like if they wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning because they're evil kids and like to do that, and then ask me to cook oodles and noodles and pancakes. 2 different kids ask for 2 different breakfasts. Just do whatever, man. You're kids. Also, once again, you can just leave.
Yeah. Oh, grandparents. I lucked out. My parents were awesome parents, so they're really awesome grandparents too. So
I know everybody around like your space seems so normal, and me, I just gotta like one half of the family I've cut off, and the other one I've had to tame to be a normal person. Because he used to yell at Amy a lot, and that had to threaten to beat him up over that.
Yeah, no, and then on my wife's side, like her nana's good. So yeah, we lucked out on that department. All right, this post got a lot more attention than I was expecting. I showed it to my wife, and we decided to block everyone who has been calling, texting us about the situation. We'll enjoy the rest of our vacation in peace. Once we're back home, I'm going to call my parents and explain to them one last time why what they did was unacceptable. I will not be allowing them to be alone with my daughter ever again, and unless I can see for sure that they've learned and changed, they will not be seeing her again at all. I'll keep them muted and contact them only if something urgent happens in the family. I've also seen some comments debating spanking kids, and I believe this is a discussion we as humans shouldn't be having anymore. Spanking or any kind of physical punishment is abuse, and there's never any excuse to resort to violence. If a child is too young to reason with, they won't understand why you're hitting them. If they're old enough to reason with, then reason with them.
That's perfect.
It's a pretty solid equation right there. Well, and that's the thing though, is like people that advocate for spanking typically have shit kids that they have to spank because they have not done any work to actually reason with this kid and have this kid have some sort of wits about them. Like you saying that your kids are doing all these crazy, annoying noises and stuff, but that's okay because that's the environment you've established.
Right.
If you don't want that environment, you don't resort to spanking them to get them to stop doing that. You talk with them like, hey, mommy's got a headache.
Right, yeah.
Like, this is not an appropriate time to do this. And then you figure out how to deal with that. But like you start at a tiny child's age.
That's the crazy part. If they're doing the pterodactyl noises and everything, I'm like, hey, Mama and Papa was in their bedroom sleeping, so let's be respectful to them. Well, the next night when they're, when Mama and Papa goes to bed, they're like, hey, we should be quiet because we've already been explained that this is to be respectful while someone else is sleeping.
Yeah, and so if you've not done any of the child rearing at a child's age, you can't just expect at like 8 when your kid's being a fucking terrorist to be like, okay, now I'm going to reason with them. No, you should have started when they were a fucking child and you could explain to them like, hey, this is why we do this. This is why we don't do this. And explain to them over time so then they can develop that part of their brain that makes them make smart decisions. And so then when you say, like, because with my 5-year-old, there will be certain times where I'm like, hey, we probably shouldn't do this. And she's like, oh, because of that. And I'm like, yeah, because of that. Yeah, it's fucking done.
Yeah, the situation's over with. But here's the thing. Spanking does not make a bad child. Not spanking does not make a bad child. Not being in your child's life. Like, you could be at home all the time, but if you're on your phone, not interacting with your child, not spending time with your child, that's what makes a bad child. When they are growing up and they have all the times to themselves, and then they are trying to figure out what is right, what is wrong, and how to go about things without having someone talk to them and, explain situations to them. And that's what creates a child that is not, doesn't know how to reason.
Well, and there's no real technical bad child. Like there's children with bad habits, children with like bad tendencies, but it is because of the parent. And like the fact that parents act like they're absolved, like, no, you're the reason your kid is whatever. Like the reason why my kid is weird in the way that she's weird is because I'm weird that way.
That's right.
And like, I'm trying to not pass some of that stuff on and I see it in her and I'm like, fuck, that's because of you, bud. And I've got to figure out how to like try to work that out of her so that she doesn't develop the same like intricacy I can't say
You
it.
were close. Intricacies.
Intricacies. There we go. Those things are because I've instilled them without even intentionally doing it. Like, I mean, it's just like the little things of she'll walk through the house and she'll be like, mom left her dishes here again. I'm like, you're right.
You're right. Yeah. Let's not say that though.
You shouldn't necessarily like be judgmental like that. I am. It's bad. I wish I wasn't. Yeah. But like, you don't need to do that. Like she'll tell on her sister, and I know that's a natural thing for kids to do, but I'm like, hey, you guys are supposed to be on the same team. Like, it's you versus us. Like, and not that it should be combative, kids versus parents, but ultimately, like, y'all should have each other's back. Like, you only get one sister for the rest of your life. Don't fuck it up by like trying to tattle on her. Like, if she's gonna hurt herself, something like that, yeah, come tell us. But if she's like, talking to a boy on the phone, like, she's a kid, she's gonna do that. And, let us find out and we'll figure that out.
Siblings love to tattle on each other.
They do. All right, so we got some comments from user Briscoe Gun. Your child, your rules. And by the way, they haven't seen this child since she was born, and their idea of bonding with that kid they've never really met before is to hit her.
Second time they have seen the child and they
spank her.
That's fucking preposterous, dude.
She'll learn respect that way. Sounds like a dumb way to develop a relationship with a toddler. So OP says, unfortunately, they don't know much about developing healthy relationships, or they believe they have the authority over her, which I'm trying to make clear they do not. So Fabulous Bus 1837 says, what's their problem? They don't see her often, so they think they can hit her. Besides, they haven't offered a single apology. They're completely convinced they're in the right, so they'll do it again. And they've enlisted the whole family behind them, a family whose capacity for self-reflection is clearly lower than the IQ of a mussel in marinara sauce. You're not in the wrong.
That sounds disgusting.
A mussel in marinara sauce? Yeah.
It's not a good combination.
Buttery. Add some butter to it. Maybe some cocktail sauce.
I don't think oysters are mussels, right?
I mean, they're same family, but
I've ate oysters before. I didn't hate it.
I don't get I'll eat it and I will enjoy it, but it's like, if I have an option, I'm not like, you know what, I'm just dying for some oysters. No. I
always used to tell people it looked like snot because that's what my mom would say. So then every time I would eat it, my brain would be doing that. You're slurping up snot right now, boy. And I was like, come on, brain. I hate my fucking brain, dude. It always does when my daughter was born, she was laying in a bassinet. And I had a pizza in my hand that just came out of the oven. And it was just like, what if you accidentally just fell and dropped this whole flaming hot pizza on your daughter? And that's where it started. It was just like, oh God, this terrible situation that will never happen. Could happen. So I got to be I hate, what are those called?
Intrusive thoughts.
Yeah, intrusive thoughts. I fucking hate those. Like, I've never had people will be like, you ever be driving over a bridge and your brain just be like, drive off the bridge.
It wasn't. Like when I was going to the ocean and everything, people would be like, go over this bridge fast because it scares me. And I was like, what? Do you really think that we're at this exact moment, this bridge is going to collapse? Like, this is the time. The thousands of times.
Here's the thing. People have thought that, and then the bridge collapsed.
But you know what? While you're on the bridge, you're already on the bridge. So it doesn't matter whether it happens or not. Like, you're on it. You could choose not to go to the fucking beach if you want to. But that's the choice you make. If you're scared of the bridge, you don't go to the beach.
Right.
Or if you want to go to the beach, you just go over the fucking bridge.
Some of them bridges are ridiculous, though. They're like, we have to go 100 feet in the air. Why?
For ships to pass underneath?
No. Yes. Fuck them ships. Fuck them ships. I'm scared.
Shipping channels. But yeah, I have those intrusive thoughts, but at the same time, like, I realize when I'm telling myself a story. So you had that situation though with that protein powder over there. I was like, the first time he drank it, he's like, oh God, this is so gross. And just every time he took a sip, he's like, this is the terriblest thing. And I was like, just don't even fucking give a shit about it. Just drink it. Like, don't worry about how bad it tastes. Just, it is.
It's like when you got a loading screen on like a game system and it wouldn't load. Sometimes it would load, sometimes it wouldn't. So you just sit there during the loading screen and just act like you didn't care. Like, I don't even care if it loads or not. But you would do that to try to get it to load.
Yeah.
I saw a meme about that and I was like, I have not had a unique experience in my fucking life.
Not a one.
Everybody lived the exact same life. I was like, you guys have pop-balls? And they're like, no, that didn't happen. But the other stuff did.
All right. So Leon Carville says, I think they don't want to apologize because that's how they raised me. And if they do apologize and admit they were wrong, it won't be just for this instance, but for the way they acted for decades before this. They're too proud for that. The rest of my family is very much like that too. So Educational Goal 7860 says, well, then they are the ones who are too proud to be grandparents. I grew up with spanking, and yeah, I turned out fine, but that doesn't mean I think it was okay, and it resonates deeply. I don't want that for my kid. Rowana 133 says, I grew up with spanking and physical punishments. I would say I'm relatively okay, but it took me some years of therapy to get there. I became scared of my parents.
That's
Scared.
a little much, man. And now you being a pussy. Shut the fuck up. We all got spankings. It's like, well, I had to go to therapy to get rid of the, oh my God.
I became scared of my parents, scared of disappointing them, and scared of the degradation and pain of the physical punishments. No child should have to feel that way about their family.
Well, I mean, technically, it sounds like that spankings worked for them, though. Because they're like, I was terrified and I always had to listen. And it was like, fuck, you're the one person it worked for. Because I'd get a spanking. They'd be like, you're grounded on your bed for a week. And then my brother would come to my window. He's like, hey, you want to sneak out and go steal some of stepdad's weed? I'm just like, yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, I think that's the thing, though, is, for different kids, it depends on how soft you are. But, like, I mean, say you're a small child and then the person that's supposed to protect you and be there to, like, guide you. And, like, that's the hard part is, like, your parents failed in so many ways that, like, to pick one of them as being like, that was really fucking bad. They were just
I don't think it was the spankings.
Yeah, they had so many options to, like, and they chose all of them the wrong one. And, say your parents were good at being somewhat supportive of you, and then all of a sudden they show you that they're a fucking monster. And, like, a spanking's one thing, but then some parents take it too far. And,
I know.
And so, like, being a small child and trying to figure that out, it could fuck you up mentally. But, like, you and your brothers raised yourselves. So it's a scenario where maybe the spankings weren't the trauma. Maybe It was the papa.
Man, listen, we used to get, hit in the mouth. He had this paddle he drilled holes in. He'd beat us with. He fucking, like, hold us down on the ground and be hitting us and shit.
And this was a stepdad, right?
Right. The stepdad. Yeah.
This shouldn't be laying hands on anybody anyways, but.
So, and I don't know if it's like, desensitization where maybe that person didn't get a lot of whoopings or they didn't have very abusive parents, but then when they did get a whooping, it fucked them up. But he would always go through this process where we'd have to, like, stand in front of him. And then it was this whole ritual of getting beat. All right. And every fucking time I'd just be like, there'd be like a clown in my head, just, and I'm just sitting there. And what's so funny too is there would be times where he'd say, like, hey, he's like, either you gonna sit in your room for a week or we can get it done right now. And I'd be like, I'll take the spanking for $500, Alex. And then I'd get both because I was a smart ass. He'd be like, that's a smart ass. I'm like, that's not a smart ass thing.
Trying to make this experience enjoyable for both of us.
Right. Yeah. Fucking, what a dick.
So you want to give him the bad news?
Yeah. Well, we're going to go ahead and give you the bad news, guys. So
I don't think it's bad news.
Right now.
Good news, bad news.
Two Daddies, Judge of Baddies does 4 episodes. Mike and Dylan Hate Drama has an episode, and then we do a bonus episode. That's 6 episodes a week. What that means for Dylan is that he has to edit 6 episodes. He has to do the title, description, timestamps for 6 episodes. He has to wait for those videos to render 6 episodes. And then he has to put it on 3 different platforms. And it takes a week. It's a very long and arduous process. Also,
then we have to also market for those 6 different episodes. Yeah. We have to cut them up into clips to try and grow the podcast. And so then instead of promoting, a couple podcasts a week, we are literally every day of the week, we're trying to figure out how to juggle doing all these things to try and grow the podcast. Because that's ultimately the goal, is to make it a better podcast. And in that vein, we're going to reduce them.
Right. If we're the less time that we're spending editing the videos, waiting for them to render, doing all the other stuff. We get to focus on making the podcast better.
Yeah.
Marketing the podcast.
Picking better stories, doing a better job in the stories, because that's another thing is while we're recording 6 podcasts, like we typically cut them around about an hour because we're like, oh, we still have 5 more to go. We still have 4 more to go. And so the amount of days that we have to record, and ultimately we think we're going to give you a better product by reducing it down. The goal is to go, well, the current thing that we're going to do is we're going to do Mike and Dylan Hate Drama on Monday, Two Daddies Judging Baddies on Tuesday. And then Wednesday will be a day without posting. And then Thursday will be another Two Daddies Judging Baddies. And then, like normal, we'll still have a Friday bonus episode. So we'll go from 6 down to 4. The only day that you're technically not getting a podcast is Wednesday.
And this will start next week, guys. And once again, we're sorry. We do want to, have more time to give a better product. We just do not have the time to suss out videos. It's causing a lot of problems where, like, the story will be fucked up, and we haven't caught this because it's only me and Dylan doing this. And you got to think, even the big guys who do, 1 episode a week, they have a whole team of people that are, curating stories, editing the video, doing all the stuff. It's just me and you. Yeah. Like, that's it. So while you're doing that, I'm trying to market every single, new episode that's coming out, old clips and stuff. And it's been a lot on us. And we just want to we want to have fun with it. We want to do the best possible episodes that we can do. We want to be able to take our time and have a good time without being like, fuck, we need to hurry up because we have 5 more to do. We have 4 more to do.
Well, and one of the silver linings, though, for you as the listener is that we are then going to probably be doing, hour-plus episodes, because now it won't be such a rush to get in and out to record 6 per week. We're doing 4, and so that's a lot more manageable. Losing those 2 extra episodes, we'll have a lot more time to curate, but then also sit with the podcast and make it as long or as short as we feel it fits for the episode. But most likely we'll probably be pushing past the 1 hour mark on a lot of episodes.
Come up with fun segments and stuff like that. That's what I want to do. I want to have things like, people look forward to, and the reoccurring stuff that other people do, and more engagement with the audience. And if we're spending all this time just, trying, if we're spending all the time behind the 8 ball trying to get out, 6 episodes a week, then it fucks us up on every other avenue that we have.
You can add the Papa Touch segment that you wanted to add.
Yeah. All right. We have a Papa who is a little bit, what would we call that? The grabby grandpa segment. Yep. We have a listener who was also touched by his grandpa.
Touched by an angel.
Right. My mom loved that show. And it's so crazy because that and Seventh Heaven. And I was like, how do you like Seventh Heaven, but our household is this?
Well, and I think somebody had mentioned in the comments that the dad from Seventh Heaven got.
Oh, yeah. He was fucking minors and shit like that, and just a terrible guy. Happens so much, man.
Oh, kind of like a preacher.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Or Bill Cosby. My wife doesn't understand why I've had to take sex and specific affections off the table, and she's upset.
Yeah, that works for me. I'm just like, you can't have any of this penis.
She's like, all right, yeah. Oh no. My wife would be content if I just, laid on the recliner and rubbed her back. My wife and I have known each other for 8 years, and we have a 5-year-old daughter. Ever since our daughter was born, my wife stopped feeling interested in sex. She's gotten her hormones checked at my request, but it seems like she's honestly just fine with not wanting it more than once a month. Even during that one time we have sex, she has to have a perfect day, had to have me take some chores she owns off her plate, give her a nice dinner and tend to her, lots of flirting throughout the day, lots of non-sexual affection for even a chance that sex occurs, and sometimes it doesn't happen. I try not to show it, but I'm worn out trying to put her in a good mood and trying to be perfect just for a chance for her to have sex with me too. That's crazy because that's just shit you should do.
You're just a husband.
Yeah, like, that's shit you should be doing. Like, you don't do that thinking like, oh fuck, I'm gonna get fucked for this. Just do it.
I made lunch since we're carpooling with the weather. My wife felt more comfortable if I drove, so I made them lunch for the day. Put it in a bag, got my daughter ready so that my wife could focus on whatever she had to do. And I did not do that with the intention that she was going to fuck me later.
Right.
I mean, if that happens, cool. But like, the intention was, oh, I'm going to just be supportive and make it so that instead of her having to get all this stuff going, I will take some of that off of her plate. She can focus on what she needs. And then I have done part of the things that she was going to do.
I'm sorry, in my brain too, like I feel like he's like, it's Saturday, so I'm trying my hardest here, and then really like telling her like I'm doing all this stuff, so hopefully you have sex tonight. I don't think this is sustainable or realistic for me. I feel like I'm not doing it for the right reasons. Correct? I don't want to perform affection that doesn't feel real to me. I don't want to do all this shit. This shit sucks.
That's what I got married for. That, like, blowjobs went off the table, and then also all of the romance coming from me. She's not giving blowjobs. I'm not doing all this other stuff.
Right? Yeah. She stopped doing that thing where she would be on her feet and bounce on that thing. You know what I'm saying? Oh, now it hurts. It didn't hurt before marriage, but now it hurts. Oh. I want to hold and hug my wife and make her life easy because I love her, not because I want something out of her.
Yeah.
And over the past few years, I've been doing it with other motives. I also want her to choose to want to have sex with me, not go along with it because I shouldered so much responsibility and making sure she felt headspace or it wouldn't happen. I would like to see, if we take sex off the table and performing affection off the table, what the baseline level of real intimacy between us is. I get that responsive desire is real, and for some people, it's not easy to initiate and go for it. But I'd like to not have to negotiate for sexual desire and understand aspects towards desire a bit more responsibly. It's tough because there's people out there who just don't give a fuck about having sex. Sex is a very important part of a relationship. I can't get into the whole, if you marry an asexual person, I think there should be like an openness about that, during the dating. It's like, look, I love you. I just don't like to have sex. So before going into marriage, but this definitely feels like, with the way he explained it, he does seem to have a self-awareness about it, though, that he's only doing it to have sex. But I guarantee you, he's only doing it on that day where he's like, oh, this is the perfect day.
Well, and, he says something about how when they had their kid, if she went through postpartum and like 5 years ago, obviously she's got to be like worked her way out of it. But did you not, like, in that process, help her get over it and then get her back into a romantic like cycle? She's now a mom, and so things are different for her. Are you trying outside of just like, oh, I did the dishes for you, babe. Oh, I cleaned up the kitchen, whatever. Like, but
can I have some pussy?
Yeah, like, are you actually a good partner,
right,
on the day to day, outside of just being like, hey, I did all these nice things for you, so you'll fuck me? Like, no.
But at least he's self-aware, so maybe there's a chance. What I mean when I say this is, I'd like to not always be in charge of ensuring she's had a good day enough to want to have sex. I'd like it to happen naturally. What is natural? Just
as parents, like, your natural day does not just facilitate like a bunch of crazy fucking.
Right. There's kids around and shit like that. For example, she's had a good day without my intervention. I initiate affection because of that specific expression of affection that makes me feel good too good enough to want to share it with her, and that in turn makes her want sex with me. What I'm trying to say is, I don't want to do it for her alone or for her sake alone. Well, it sounds like you don't have a problem getting horny, and she does, so.
Well, and you're trying to put all this pressure that she needs to show it. Like, you guys are two individual people. You guys both have to show up in a certain way. And like, are you communicating? But like, that's one of the things that I've talked with my wife about, is like, sometimes I like to not necessarily be the one that initiates all the time. And, for women, sometimes that's not spelled out where they're like, oh, I can do this. But you simply just trying, like, she could probably smell it from a mile away that like, oh, he did the dishes again. He's probably going to want to try and fuck tonight. Well, and like, she knows the playbook. Like,
right. So as soon as you're doing the nice things, she knows that these nice things are coming with fuck tonight.
Yes.
Either I am going to have to do something I don't want to do, or he's going to be mad at me.
Yeah. Rather than trying to figure out what revs up her engine. Like, and it sounds like he's trying like surface level.
Right.
Rather than making it an everyday situation that she just feels loved, desired, and all that normally.
Making the person that you love, making their life easier just because you love them.
Yeah.
I expressed this to her and she's taking it completely wrong because to her, she hears no cutesy names throughout the day, multiple times a day, no massages twice a week, no breakfast in bed, no princess treatment by making her life easy, no indulging her moods needlessly.
I feel like you should be reading this in a nice guy voice.
I should be saying this. Okay, should we start it off? All right, here we go. I keep saying that just because I don't want to perform affection, it does not mean it won't exist or that I'd stop doing special things for her. I just want to do it for the right reasons and if I feel like it too. What the fuck? Isn't it more special that way if it's real to me? It's like he thinks it's Valentine's Day. Like if I do something special every once in a while instead of doing it, once a month for sex, then it makes it more special. She disagrees. I keep telling her that what we have right now, me trying to manage all of it for her is not healthy. I want to love her in ways that feels authentic to me too. And yes, even if it means I stop certain acts of affection on demand, I will. But that is a good thing in the long run. I don't think it's responsible of her to base all of her responsive desire on what I have to do to earn that desire. I don't want to earn it. I want it to be freely given to me. I want it to be freely given to me by her choice. Oh, wow. All right, we got some comments, but fuck me. Call it. Just end it. Just end the relationship, dude.
Well, that's the thing is he's preemptively like built this thing in his head. Like he's not actually trying to solve the problem. He's like, how do I make you do the thing that I want you to do? Like it's not a like, how do I turn this? Like he lost how to turn his wife on ultimately.
Right.
He's got to do these set things and like you built that. Like she didn't do that. You are now in this fake reality where you want it to now be this other way. But like all those things that you do, you should be doing them out of love. Maybe she'd want to fuck you if you genuinely did them because you cared about her instead of just like, this is how I warm her up to get pussy.
Gotta get my pussy points.
He was a nice guy that got married.
Yeah, right. You guys need marriage counseling ASAP. That's from Deep Sleep Sheep Meep.
Deep Sleep Sheep Meep. That's a cool one.
Little Spell says, absolutely. This is a classic communication breakdown where both people are speaking different emotional languages. I know it's not. A counselor can help translate before resentment sets in permanently. Gestapo says, absolutely. My wife and I didn't get into counseling until late, and trying to roll back years of mounting resentment is exhausting. Just go. Even if you don't think you need it, go anyways. Plot twist next page. Oh, shit. Vilda Saker says, so let me get this straight. You're A, unemployed. Oh, fuck. B, not helping around the house. C, only showing your wife affection when you want to get your dick wet. D, not helping parent your child either. E, whining in multiple posts on Reddit instead of getting off your lazy ass and being useful. F, ignoring those who have rightly called you out instead of looking inward and realizing you are the problem. Husband and father of the year, everyone. I hope she leaves you and takes the kid and finds someone worth her time. Maybe you'll get your act together and figure out how to be a partner and a parent, but I doubt it. What the fuck? He ain't even got a job? Like, that's how, it's like, fuck, I'm tired from work. You know what I'm saying? I've been working my ass off. I'm sorry. I couldn't get everything. God,
yeah.
You ain't got a job.
When I pulled some of the comments, I would like click the top ones and found that one. And I was like, and then people down below were like, yeah, he posts in like all these other Reddits just like bitching about his wife won't fuck him and all this stuff. And it's just a woe is me.
What a bitch. What a pussy. I hope your wife does leave you. Leaves you for a real man who has a job. Is she working?
Yeah.
Oh, God. Bro, shut the fuck up. He's like, yeah, man, I like try to help out and do this housework and stuff like that.
2 days a week.
Things that she should be doing. What a fucking
her
bitch.
chores.
My God. I don't know. I think it would make me feel better if you were like, here's an update where they lit themselves on fire on a Reddit video. So I could feel better.
Yeah, it's just wild like how self-absorbed people can be. Like he legitimately is one of these guys that's like, my wife won't fuck me anymore. Well, yeah, because you're not a man anymore.
Right. Like, yeah. You turn into a bitch.
You let her, and like, I'm not saying that, you know, it's wrong for the woman to be making more money, him staying at home.
If she's working, she better not have to come home and do a fucking thing. Yes. Like,
And you should be fucking happy about it.
Fuck
like,
yeah,
should be
you don't have to. You don't have to go to a place and spend the majority of your time not seeing your kid, not spending. You get to hang out with your kid all day, bro. She should not have to come home and deal with fucking anything. That's wild, dude. He's like, yeah, I help her out with house chores every now and then, but it feels like I'm doing it just to get some pussy. God, that guy is a fucking. I wish I could reread that whole story in that voice, because that guy is a fucking just a weeb.
Yeah, it's wild that people can somehow believe that they're the hero in their story when they're literally just the villain.
I love it when someone tells you a story and they're like, I got the audacity of this person, and they just tell the story about where they fucked up and they were just like completely in the wrong, and you're just like, that's wild, man. Because I'm not giving you, if you in your heart of hearts believe that you're right, I'm just gonna be like, damn, that's crazy.
Yeah. I saw this thing, I'm trying to remember the joke at the end of it.
Was it your papa's? Oh.
No. I only hung out with my grandpa like once when it was just me and him, and he took me to a Dunkin' Donuts, like an old school Dunkin' Donuts. That was it. Other than that, I was always just at the family gatherings with the whole family.
Damn.
No one-on-one papa time. We called him Grandpa.
Sucks to be you.
All right, so this is from our DoorDash.
Uh-oh.
By user Anne the Queen. Dasher just called the cops on me for no reason. I work from home and decided to order lunch this afternoon. No food in the house, and with back-to-back meetings, decided on delivery. I'm an occasional user, maybe 1 to 2 times per month. I always tip through the app. Food comes. A young lady brought it. As always, when the food gets here, I open the door. She hands me the food. I say thank you and close my door. 5 seconds tops. I had to get back to my desk since I was in a meeting. I'm a woman living alone, so whenever I open the door, I only open it enough to look out and take the delivery. I don't open the door wide or step outside because I don't want someone to push their way in.
She just cracks it. She's like, oh, yes. Did you bring the food?
You got the goods.
Do you have the burritos? Just the door is just like cracked and you see an eyeball.
I understand women's apprehension, but yeah, that's like, just drop the food there. I'll get it after you leave.
Right. I mean, well, I'm sorry, ladies, but I do enjoy being able to walk at night and not being afraid for my life.
Yeah.
Like, fuck, man, when somebody... Because here's the thing, too, though, because sometimes dudes do have to worry about it because they'll be like, well, what about this story? It's like, that's a one-off, does not happen a lot.
The sketchy scenarios I've put myself in by choice, astronomically higher than I would suggest any woman ever put themselves in those situations.
Like, just walking at nighttime is a sketchy situation for a woman, where me, it's just like, I'm a guy.
Yep.
That's it.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people are just like, because, if shit happens, say a couple guys do pop out of a van and, give me the old butt plug, you know what I'm saying? Nobody's then going to be like, well, what was Mike wearing? They're going to be like, wow, them guys are awful. They're not going to be like, what was Mike wearing to deserve that?
Were you wearing your shorts and showing off your calves?
Yeah, that's what it was. They
saw that from a mile away. They're like, oh.
And honestly, I can't blame them because they are nice calves.
All right, so... But the door opens into the living room and you can see the sofa even if it's open just a crack. About an hour later, I get a loud banging at my door. I answer and see 2 police officers standing at the door asking me if I just ordered food. I say yes, and they ask me to confirm the name of the restaurant I ordered from. I do, and I say that I ate some of it already, so I hope they aren't telling me there's something wrong with it.
It's fucking poison, bro. If cops are coming to tell you about food, something's wrong.
Or somebody pooped in it.
Yeah, something's wrong. Like,
more than likely poop.
They pissed in the sink right before they let this out here.
So I know it was the right order. They ask me if I'm the only one here. I say yes. They tell me that they got a call from the delivery lady saying that when she delivered the food, a man received it at the door and threatened her with a gun. That I was sitting on the sofa. They say she described me and what I was wearing, and that there was a little boy in the house crying, and me and the man with the gun were threatening to beat him.
What?
So I tell them no, I am here alone, and they are free to come in and look around. They come in, they see nobody is here, no man, no child, no gun. Thank me for cooperating and leave. They were super professional and pleasant, so I have no complaints there, but I'm still in shock. Not least because why would this lady do this? Yeah, doesn't compute at all.
What if that did happen, but she got the wrong addresses mixed up, and the cops were just like searching that house, like nobody's fucking here. This is DoorDash, and then
it was
the next house. That kid's just getting pistol whipped and shit. God damn.
I didn't have any kind of conversation with her. She got her tip. I was pleasant and thanked her. I want to report her to DoorDash, but to be honest, I'm a little nervous to report someone who knows my address. Is this some kind of scam or known behavior? Update. Thanks to everybody for your thoughts and support. I reported her to both DoorDash and the local police. They already had the report from the cops who came by earlier and updated it with my info. Still a bit nervous, but it was important to put it on record in case anything else happens. Really appreciate you all. Some comments. She basically swatted you. I understand your hesitation to report her, but I also think she deserves a visit from the police.
Why she do it though?
I don't know. OP says, I've been thinking about how lucky I am that I didn't get any cops who were more aggressive or skeptical. I guess it was easy to see I have nothing to hide, but just the thought of that people can cause trouble for you for no reason is unnerving. I mean, I'm a 50-year-old woman minding my business. Why would this young girl want to do this? The LBS 365 says, I still have a leave at the door instruction that's been there since COVID hit, and I thought about changing it, but I appreciate not having to worry about interactions. I imagine 99% of them would be fine, but stories like yours make me realize I'm safer from more than just illnesses this way. I don't know how you rich people afford DoorDash.
It's expensive as fuck, yeah.
I've never done it. I think I tried to sign on one time to do it, and they were like, okay, so you want this $20 meal. It's going to be $40. I was like, fuck you.
Wait, without the tip. Yeah, that's all the fees.
I'll get in my
then you
car
got a tip.
and go get it.
Yeah, hamburger ain't worth all that.
And then I can have 2 of those meals for that same price. Fuck you.
For less than that price, yeah.
Underscore Armla. This person could have gotten you killed. The very least you can do is report them for this dangerous, irresponsible bullshit before they do it to someone else. Yeah, I guess that's my thing is I've been in such a bubble of just normalcy that I don't understand any of these situations where like, A, you get DoorDash. I don't understand it because I will never buy it. But then B, like that somebody that delivers your food's like, I'm going to call the cops.
Yeah, I'm going to just I'm going to fabricate a story that they live with a guy and that they are going to beat this child.
Yeah, what's the end game on that?
But honestly, too, people are just fucking weird. People are fucking weird and crazy. And then DoorDash is not checking anything. They're like, do you have a driver's license? Good. That's it. That's all we need.
When we got Taco Bell last night, that was one of the things when I pulled up to the mobile order. They're like, are you from DoorDash? I was like, no. They're like, do you want to place an order? I was like, I'm in the fucking mobile drive-thru lane. I'm giving you my name, and then you already have my order. And they're like, oh, okay. I was like,
please pull around the first window.
It's so wild that, like, I guess most of the people in the line must be DoorDash. And, like, the person in front of me, the tiniest Taco Bell bag is what they got out the window. I was like, motherfucker, you paid for DoorDash to get, like, what? Like a cheesy roll-up?
Yeah, right.
What the fuck are you doing?
I mean, I guess if you got it, whatever. Fucking, who am I to judge? God. Fuck me. My best friend's husband touched me inappropriately. Title is The Barest of Bare Bones.
You know what'd be funny, though, is if it was a guy's girl best friend.
Right, yeah. Best friend's husband, and it's a dude.
Yeah.
I remember when, what the fuck is his name? Terry Crews came out about that. One producer that grabbed his dick. And then as he's saying that, because Michael Strahan had to do an interview afterwards because he had to apologize to everybody. Because as he told Michael Strahan the first time, he busted out laughing. He was like, well, you're a dude. And then he was like, oh, fuck, I got to treat this. Like, because it does, like, guys get, guys get molested, raped, sexually harassed. I don't think to the point that women do.
No, but still,
right.
It doesn't make it not an issue.
Yeah, it doesn't make the person that did it not a predator. But I digress, and I'm going to continue before we get into a whole can of worms about all that shit. It was her birthday, and a group of us booked an Airbnb for the weekend to hang out, drink, dance, hot tub, and celebrate. Night 1, we all went out to dinner and went to a bar/clinic so the girls could dance. Who the fuck calls it a clinic?
I don't know.
What? This is not American. It was a blast. By 12:30, we were all feeling good and ready to get back to the townhouse. I fully admit I was not sober, so I was incredibly tired from the 55-hour work week, and I have my kids constantly. We got to the Airbnb, and I went to my room that I was in sharing with my boyfriend. I face-planted the bed, still fully dressed, and was done. I have vague memories of voices and laughs and hands. I do not want to remember anymore. The next morning, my boyfriend asked me if I remember anything from the night before. I said no, and he told me that while everyone was partying, my best friend's husband kept coming upstairs. He would come into our room. You could see the front door from part of the living room. It was a loft style. He would come into our room, be in with me for a bit, and then come downstairs again. It happened a couple times. My boyfriend got creeped out and decided to end his night and come sit with me. Best friend's husband came in once or twice and talked to my boyfriend, my best friend, BF, whatever. Boyfriend, okay. The last time he came in, and while talking to my boyfriend, he put his hands on my back, started rubbing it, moving down to the top of my ass, and only stopped when my boyfriend gave him a death stare and said he had to go. What was ass?
From fucking door opening to our room. My girl's in there.
Yeah, why the fuck are you going up there?
I'm flying up those fucking stairs. Like obviously there's probably multiple places up there, but like the second that homeboy by himself goes up, opens the door to my room where my girl I know is laying on the bed, I'm up those stairs like that. Like there's no just waiting, wonder what he's doing.
What he's doing. No, well, he started rubbing your back, and then I gave him a death stare. You're not touching my passed out drunk girlfriend. You're not touching her. He was like, oh, I'm just going to rub her back. He would just go downstairs, and his nose would be touching his cheekbone. Like that's, ew. I don't get it. I remember none of that. Only what I know was now times I was alone in the room with him because of the tone and laugh and motions I remember are not one my boyfriend witnessed. I can't decipher that.
So basically she was drunk and she couldn't remember a lot, but like she remembers that like, you know, there were sounds and things that make her believe that her boyfriend was not in there.
Okay. I did not deal with this at the time. I was not going to say something to ruin my best friend's birthday. And to be honest, I was terrified that if I said something, I wouldn't be believed and that I would lose my best friend. Losing her was the thing that scares me the most. You know how everybody believes that story? If boyfriend decks him in the room, everybody then believes that story. He's like, I walked in there, fucking touching my girl. He's like, why were you in the room with the...
Why were you touching her?
I'm sorry, boyfriend's a bitch.
Yes.
100% bitch made. That day, everyone was hanging out in various groupings and around the house and in the hot tub. At one point, there was a disagreement between my boyfriend and I, unrelated to the incident. And I was upstairs with my best friend. We were listening in on the two guys talking and heard my boyfriend call out her husband for what he did. She looked at me and asked if it was true. I told her I didn't remember. I had a look on my face clearly because she told me she wasn't mad at me and said she was going downstairs. Well, she's like, oh yeah, I know. Yeah, he's a fucking weirdo. This created a huge fight all around. People were not sober. Damn, this is the next day, ain't it?
Yeah.
It got loud and heated and went on for hours between arguments, taking precedent based in things said. The next morning was cleaned up and head home day. This person does not know how to fucking stage a fucking sentence. I'm sorry, I'm struggling. I left with two other girls and made the hour and a butt trip home. Hour and a half trip home? I don't know. It says hour and a butt trip home. Like, that's so fucked up. Best friends did not come with us. There was another incident revealed after we left, not as intense, and regarding someone in the vehicle with me at the time. My best friend asked if it was true, but there wasn't much anyone could say to her. Everything is a mess. Everyone is hurting and upset and feeling shaky. My best friend has gone radio silent with everyone, and we're all worried. I'm scared I've lost my best friend, will be the reason their marriage might end, and that this has damaged our circle in an irreparable way. I'm worried for my friend and what she's going through, and that she's closing herself off from the people who want to be there for her. And that's it. Now we have the comments, which is crazy. Because I'm sorry, the boyfriend waiting till the next day, it just seems like you're a weird dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, you felt some type of way about him being, I get like what the other guy did was wrong. I'm saying to everybody else's like perception, you bringing that up the next day is preposterous. If you punch him when he in the room, it's like, why is he in there? Then everybody could be like, oh fuck, this is really happening.
Some people just aren't confrontational, though. Like, I mean, they just aren't. Like, I don't agree.
I don't give a fuck if you're not confrontational and you have a partner who is passed out.
Yes, I agree. I said I agree. Like, and yes, that's
I get it. I get it. You're not condoning it.
Some people are non-confrontational, and so he gave him the death stare and was like, "You need to get the fuck out of here." Yeah, but like, I mean, to some people, that's the solution. They don't want to start a big thing either, and like that's ultimately what the girl was saying, is she doesn't want to start a thing between, even though the boyfriend was being, or husband or whatever, was being inappropriate. Like, she doesn't want to fuck up a relationship. And some people, that's just how they operate. It's like, well, you know, he didn't mean anything by it. Like, no, he did. He's a fucking shitty, shiesty
He's a predator.
person.
Yeah, he's a predator.
Yes. And so, but some people in those moments, they're like, well, I don't want to like cause any drama or anything. And so they let it slide. And that's ultimately, this isn't the first time he's done this.
Right.
He's done this with other friends at other occasions.
Yep.
And nothing's come of it until this moment. And now it's exploding for him. But this isn't the first time. So
it's not going to be the last either, because this is not, I mean, obviously the girlfriend has chosen to stay with the husband and shit, so.
Maybe. We don't know, because like the story, it's a fresh one, so there might be updates later on.
Hopefully we do get an update on this. Dick Suck said.
Good username.
Your best friend's husband is a creep to think to do that at all, even worse to do so in front of your boyfriend. And side-eyeing your boyfriend for not raising a lot more hell and not actually doing anything, more seeing his girlfriend grope by a man in front of him, it'd be way more than a stare. Substantial Maybe said, right. I'm literally at a loss for words about the boyfriend. He just gave a death stare while another man touched his girlfriend while she was sleeping. Then OP asked if she knew what was going on. Remote Web said he froze due to something he experienced in his youth and was watching everything from outside of himself. When my friend and I heard them talking, it started a huge multi-hour argument, and then my boyfriend refused to let the husband have any wiggle room to get out of it. The Ann Main says, I'm going to tell you right now that you are not the cause of the marriage being ruined. It's the husband. He was being predatory, and thank God one of your friends noticed the signs. You were assaulted and almost got raped, and you felt like you were in a safe space with people you trusted. If you're losing your best friend, I'll tell you right now, it'll always be a make or break situation, because if she stays with him, it says a lot that she will stand by a rapist. Own up to it and simply say, I was passed out. I do not know what happened. I thought I was in a safe space, and the details I can't tell you. You pushed that narrative that your trust was breached in the end and that the victim is you. Do not apologize for being in that situation, because, again, you felt like you were in a safe space around your friends.
I think that's one of the keys, though, is like, you know, in this moment, this girl does not want to start a bunch of shit, but she should be going on the offense of like, no, he's a predator. He's a terrible person. Like, and you know, if you want to stay with him, that's your choice, but I can't be friends with you and be put in this position again. Like, we all had a good time, and then this creep was coming in and fucking doing inappropriate shit. Even if it is just rubbing her back and being like, are you okay, honey? Like, no, send the fucking boyfriend up there. Don't go up there yourself, you piece of shit. Like, you should not be touching anybody outside of your wife in a drunken state. Like, nobody else has agreed to this. So even if you're going up and trying to be thoughtful and everything, no, that's not your place.
Remote Web says he claims to remember being in the room and talking but not doing anything wrong. Said he was blackout but can recall conversations that happened. Says it's his culture and that they're more touchy-feely. Tried to tell my boyfriend that I'm beautiful and that comes with a level of crazy he has to expect and accept. Then wouldn't expand on what he meant. They've been together for almost 18 years. That's a lot of history to walk away from.
No, it's not.
No. Yeah, no. As soon as you find out somebody's a predator, bye. Later potatoes.
Well, and I think that's the thing is, no, culture does not mean that you get to put your hands on random people. Like,
right. Well, in this culture, that you can marry a 10-year-old girl. And if you say, well, that's their culture. No, that's fucked up. That's a fucked up culture. I'm sorry. I am sorry. I don't give a fuck. Look, I don't give a fuck. Y'all could be like, Mike, well, that's someone's culture. That's someone's values. They're fucking wrong. And obviously from a fucking old time before, I don't know, humans were fucking self-aware.
Well, see, I think the real thing for me, that the age, why it makes sense. Yeah, back in the day, 13, 14, blah, blah, blah. you were more of an adult back then. You had responsibilities. You were going out and working. Like you were forced to become an adult much younger. And in this day and age, you are not forced to become that adult. You are still a child. Like we have it set to like 18s where you're getting out of school, you're starting to become responsible. That's the reason why it's that age. And then back in those days, like it wasn't typically a 30-year-old going after a 14-year-old. It was like 2 14 and 15-year-olds getting married. Like it wasn't this predatory thing. And like, not to say that there weren't predators back then. There was, and I'm sure plenty of bad shit happened. But when I hear all these stories about like my grandparents, yeah, your grandparents were damn near the same age or within like a few years of each other getting married at fucking 15, 16.
They'll be like, oh, my grandpa was, 20 and my grandma was 16. And it's like, how'd they meet? God damn, that's a pretty bad age gap. It's like, oh, at work. And it's like, oh, fuck.
Well, yeah. And I mean, when you go back in those years too, like the 16-year-old was probably far more responsible and grown than a 16-year-old is now. Like, I'm sorry, but by the time my daughter's 16, she's probably still going to be like, how long do I heat up the food for? Like,
right.
And back then they were probably making a fucking five-course meal for 10 people in the family. Like they're different times. And I'm not saying
working 12 hours at a radium fucking licking the little, what is it, radium paint?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fucked.
But like it was a different day and age. Just because it was acceptable at one point.
But now you got 30-year-olds who will bring that up and be like, well, back during this time, you could marry a 12-year-old. And it's like, dog, you're 35. You could not. Like, no, nobody would think that was cool.
No.
I guarantee you go 1,000 years back, you're not going to find a lot of people that's just like, yes, this 30-year-old should marry this child.
Well, and when you look at it, like when I've talked to girls that have had those like older separations, they're like, well, yeah, like he was more mature and all this stuff. I'm like, yeah, and you were a fucking child. Like you did not know anything about the world. So yes, he seems like this, but he was a shit stain of a person that has to go hunt kids because he looks cool to a kid.
He does not have to hunt kids. He is worried about his career. Okay. He works at Circle K.
He's gonna get the assistant manager job soon.
Right. And I mean, he's been working at Circle K for 10 years now. I was like, God damn, how old is he? He's 38. It's like, fuck, okay.
Yeah.
Look.
People that have to excuse the age
every
gap.
Millennial knows that, though. They either know someone they was hitting on or they themselves was dating like a fucking 27-year-old dude with a car.
Yeah.
And then as the guys who had to like compete against that guy, it's just like, well, fuck, I ain't got a car.
Or a job that pays $300 a week.
No money, so fuck.
I just got to get up my cunnilingus game.
That's right. You study, and then you look, you read, learn, and then you eat some pussy.
We're not going to go down that road.
Right. Read, learn, and eat some pussy.
I think this is a good place to call it a wrap.
Read, learn, and eat some pussy is a good place to call it.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Yeah. Look, you heard it. You heard it straight from Dylan. There's no better thing to end something honest than to read, learn, and then apparently, from what Dylan said that one episode, for the majority of men, struggle to find the clitoris for, 10 minutes. Once again, there's a center line, guys. Center line. You stay on the center line, you'll eventually find it. I don't know what else to tell you. It's a big thing, though, man. People will be like, oh, you can't find the damn thing. Or then other people will be like, clitoral orgasms doesn't exist. And I was like, it can't be this fucking rampant. It's there. It's not hard to find. I don't fucking know. I don't know. But I guess we'll see you next time.
Later.